How's it going, everyone? This is Soul Singed here, and I know it's been a good minute since I made a video, but I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I've been also pretty busy between work. My grandma's been in the hospital. I got a new phone and trying to get all that set up, and I've also been working on music more. So yeah, album on the way. Keep that in mind. Though I will be making a separate video going more in detail about everything that's been going on in my life. But basically, I am here today to rank the 2021 freshman freestyles. Now, before I really get into the list, I just want to say it's based completely off my opinion and my opinion alone. You don't have to agree or disagree. I don't really care. You know, if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. But basically, this list is completely based on my opinion and my enjoyment, and I will be looking at some things objectively. But before we really get into the list, I just want to list a couple things that do and don't bother me about freestyles. Number one, I don't care if they're sung. I've seen some people in the past complain about artists singing their freestyles. I really don't care as long as it sounds good. Like if a freshman sings their freestyle and it sounds great, I'm fine with that. Now, YK Osiris sung his freestyle back in 2019. That shit was hot garbage because he was off-key the entire time. But if it sounds good, I really could care less. And another thing, I've seen people complain about the freestyle, about freshmen rapping their freestyles and then being pre-written. It's like, oh, it's not a freestyle, it has to be off the dome. I really don't give a shit if it's written or not. In fact, I would rather it be written and have it be good than an artist come out here and freestyle off the top of their dome and it come out as trash. Like, I'd rather have an artist have a pre-written verse for their freestyle than come out and go, hey, you know I smoke a lot of grass. You know I be eating ass. You know I don't fuck with snakes, that's why I'm cutting the grass. About to put out some poison cause I don't fuck with rats. Yeah. Like, I would rather them come out and rap a pre-written verse than just ramble on about bullshit they're trying to make up off the top of their head. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's just get straight into this. And at number 11, we have Ian Dior, because he didn't even do a freestyle, and apparently he didn't do a cypher verse either, which kind of bothers me, but at the same time it doesn't, because I'm not a fan of Ian Dior. I think he's trash. I think he's extremely mid. And two, there's 11 freshmen, and if Ian is the only one that skipped out on everything, we still have 10 freshmen. And the freshman list is supposed to be 10 people, so Ian skipping out on everything doesn't really bother me, but I still feel like that's just a wasted spot. Like, if anything, Ruby Rose should have skipped everything because she didn't even deserve a spot to begin with. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this. And at number 10, we have Pooh Shiesty, or Poop Shitty, as some people have been calling him. Yeah, Pooh Shiesty's freestyle was fucking atrocious. It is top 10 worst of all time. Maybe even top 5 worst of all time in terms of XXL freestyles. Delivery, whack. I could not make out a single word this man was saying. Flow, whack. This man did not even have a flow. He was just barely rhythmic murmuring his verse. And then lyrics, I don't know what he was saying. How can I grade his lyrics if I don't have a clue what the fuck he was saying? So, yeah. Pooh Shiesty's was just fucking trash. No energy. And honestly, the best thing about it is when he's like, I can't fuck, they want to see that, bruh, bruh, and started throwing money. That was the best thing about his freestyle, and even that was fucking stupid. So yeah, Pooh Shiesty had, hands down, the worst freestyle of this freshman cover, and one of the worst XXL freestyles of all time, in my opinion. Next up, we have 42 Doug, and his was also trash, but not as bad because A, I could understand what he was saying, and B, he had an actual flow. But his complete lack of energy and the fact that he looked like he was about to fall asleep makes it trash. but definitely better than Pooh Shiesty's. Okay, so from here on up, I enjoy all the freestyles. Pooh Shiesty and 42 Doug had the only two freestyles that I would consider actually trash. So at number 8 we have Ruby Rose. And like I said, Ruby Rose her freestyle's not that bad. And I know a lot of people are hating on it because it's Ruby Rose and a lot of people don't like her. When I really have no idea who she is. Until I saw people complaining about her and I actually looked into her, I had never heard of her. I really don't get invested in drama that goes on in the hip-hop community. So when something like this happens, like when Ruby Rose was put on the list, I figured she was just another generic hot girl female rapper. And then that's when I found out that she was this model on Instagram and just caused drama and beef with a bunch of rappers. But yeah, her freestyle really isn't that bad. It's just very generic and typical real hot girl shit type stuff. And she has some pretty decent flows. It's just whenever she switches her flows to like she'll stop for a couple seconds and then kind of pick up, and it's just a little disjointed. But yeah, not terrible, just very, very typical and very average. Okay, this one is going to cause a little bit of controversy because a lot of people have been gassing this one up like it's the best thing ever, but Flo Milli just had another pretty average freestyle. I liked her delivery. She was loud and clear, and you could make out everything she was saying. Had a pretty nice flow throughout it, but still her flow is just very basic, nothing too crazy. And then her voice. I didn't really like her voice too much. She had a more higher pitched voice, and it just sounded a little irritating to me. Nothing unbearable, but nothing I would really find enjoyable and want to sit here and really listen to, if you get what I'm saying. And then a lot of her punchlines and lyrics were just painfully average. Like, a lot of people were acting like she was spitting straight heat, she was spitting straight fire, when most of her wordplay and most of her punchlines were just very, very average. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And I know I've been criticizing these, but like I said, these aren't bad. You know, 42 Doug and Pooh Shiesty were terrible, but Ruby Rose on up had average or better. Like, they were all competent. Not great, not bad, just okay. LaKia had a pretty good freestyle. Again, didn't really... Her flow was pretty average. Nothing too crazy about her flow, but it was a nice, enjoyable flow. Lyrics were really basic and average. A lot of people were giving her props for not talking about sex or her pussy. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. I don't care what she talks about as long as it sounds good and has a good flow to it. She's mostly just talking about how she's coming up and she's the best. And her confidence is what I like about her freestyle. She raps with a lot of confidence. And it's like she means what she's saying. And that's what I enjoy about her freestyle. But outside of that, just a very typical real hot girl shit type stuff. Nothing too crazy. Now we're getting into the ones that I really enjoy. DDG had pretty slick flows, really confident delivery, and overall just did great. The reason it's at number 5 is because it's so damn short. It feels so short. Now, some freshmen have short freestyles that don't feel that short because they're rapping with low energy, not really saying anything. But DDG is coming with some intensity, some confidence, some rapping, some flow, and like, you're really getting invested into it, and then it's over. Like his should have gone on for at least another 20 or 30 seconds. And if this was just a little bit longer, it'll be way higher on this list. But yeah, he had a great freestyle, just way too short in my opinion. This one is probably going to cause some controversy. Coil Array. A lot of people were calling Coil Array trash. Excuse me. But I feel like a lot of people are just hating on Coil Array because it's Coil Array. And her music, I haven't really got too much into, but this freestyle, I really enjoyed. Her singing was on point. And a lot of people have been criticizing the second half of her freestyle where she kind of went in her more baby voice, Playboy Cardi-esque. And I admit the first time I heard it, it kind of threw me off. But the more I listen to it, the more addicted I get to it. Like literally, yesterday at work, I could not get Coil Array's freestyle out of my head. That's how catchy it is. Now, musically, I've seen some people say that it's a generic, sounds like Playboy Cardi. I haven't listened to too much of her music, but what I have heard, she definitely does sound a lot like Playboy Cardi, which that by itself doesn't really sound that impressive, but a female rapper doing something like that is. Because in today's atmosphere, most of your female rappers are on that real hot girl wave, and Coil Array is doing something completely different, which I really appreciate. But yeah, like I said, her freestyle kind of just proves that she has a lot of potential. I could see her going really far if she wants to take this melodic singing style and really flesh it out more. Because I found a video, I forgot who uploaded it, that they basically took Coil Array's freshman freestyle and put it over a beat, and my god, that shit slapped so fucking hard. Yeah, I really enjoyed Coil Array's freestyle. And at number 3, we have Blast. I had no clue who Blast was before the freestyle, before the freshman list came out. But he had one of the best freestyles. He had some of the best rapping ability. And his snapping was just kind of added a little bit of kick, a little bit of personality. Even though at some points it sounds like his snapping got a little out of rhythm. But yeah, pretty consistent flow. Lyrics was just like your typical underdog who is getting... Like, he had a typical underdog story, like, coming up in the game. I done had all these legends tell me that I'm going to be on top, I'm going to be making it. And he also had a lot of confidence in it, which I found quite enjoyable. And yeah, just overall pretty good stuff. Tusey's freestyle was so good because of the lyrics. He's basically dedicating this freestyle to his mom and his late grandfather, saying how far he's come in the game and how everything he's doing is for them and how they'd be proud of him. And I've seen some people criticize his delivery and his flow, but in a way I feel like his kind of low energy flow matches the somber tone of his freestyle. Like, he's not talking about hype shit. He's not talking about anything happy. So his low energy delivery matches his freestyle. Kind of like how when Baby Keem did his freestyle last year, he had his hoodie on and he was all tucked down and just rapping in a very low voice, very low key delivery. And like Baby Keem, it matched what he was talking about perfectly. Because Baby Keem was rapping about isolation and his whole appearance and everything just matched it perfectly. Same with Tusey's. And Tusey had one of the most unique flows. It almost had kind of like a questionable sounding flow where he was like rapping a line, then rapping another line. Like, he sounded like he was a little shaky, if that makes sense. And again, I feel like that really matched the tone he was going for. And I feel like everything he did just kind of fit together nicely on his freestyle. And again, even if you didn't like his flow, I liked the flow he used. And it was one of the more unique flows we've seen in a freshman freestyle. And it was just kind of a breath of fresh air compared to most of the freestyles. And at number 1, we have Murray. Murray had, hands down, the best flows of any freestyle this year. And his slight melody just really made it bounce. And I mean, he was spitting and he was just gliding across there. And then the melodies just made it sound so smooth. Now, lyrically, he was pretty similar to Blast, talking about him coming up in the game and all that. And it had like an inspiring tone to it. And just overall, just like a really, really smooth groove to it. And he was able to go from straight up singing, straight up sing rapping, to just plain on rapping, and able to smoothly switch just like that. Like, he could go from sing rapping to just straight up rapping and it not even be distracting. That rhymed. But he was able to just switch up his flows like that and have it work. No hesitation, never sounded off-putting, just really good stuff all around. Now, I know I said the rankings were based on my enjoyment, but I have to say, in terms of personal favorites, from these freestyles, my two favorites are probably Murray and Coil Array. Just in terms of personal favorites. Though, when I was ranking them, I kind of looked at everything as a whole. But yeah, like I said, I know some of these picks are more controversial. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment. Anything helps the channel grow. And yeah, peace.